Hey everybody, and welcome to this month's webinar. If you can hear me, say hello in the chat. Just let us know that you can hear us. Hey Matthew, hey Dylan, hey Kim, Theodore, hey everybody. If you can just drop in the chat where you're from, where you're listening to us from. Nice, Chicago, Portugal, Netherlands, North Carolina. That's awesome. Monaco, India. This is very diverse. This is so much fun. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to join us today on this webinar. Canada, Hungary, Spain, Belgium. This is crazy. So for some of you, it's good morning. For some of you, it's good evening. Some of you, it's midday. I'm very happy that you guys can join us. And with us, Shirley is here with us, Head of Customer Success here at Any.do. She's also in the chat. She'll be able to help you throughout the webinar. If you have any questions, you can write it and she'll answer. And also at the end of the webinar, she'll join the Q&A session to answer more of like product-oriented questions. So it's really worthwhile to also stay till the end, so you can also chat with her. Before we start, let me introduce you. If you haven't been to one of our webinars, then this is part of the Productivity Masters webinar series. Productivity Masters is a webinar series that we've been running. This is, I think, the fourth now, which in each webinar we tackle a different topic from the productivity world. So trying to help people become more productive, from productivity methods and styles, and creating the habits and goals that will actually help you progress and achieve the life you wanna live. If you haven't seen the past webinars, you can go to our YouTube channel, and we've started uploading them, so you can watch the replays there as well. You can see the Setting Goals webinar. You can see the Art of GTD webinar for getting things done, how to prioritize. So there's like a lot of information there. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. You can also see, by the way, a few of our new how-to videos for iOS. Also, new production is up there. So jump in, subscribe, say hi. Hey, Chris from Poland. So for this webinar, we have a special offer. It's a limited time offer. You can get Any.do, the premium package yearly, with a limited time offer of $29.99 just by clicking on the link that Shir just posted. So if you guys are using the free version and you were thinking of upgrading, then this is a really good time to invest in yourself and upgrade to premium for $29.99 instead of $35.99. So this would be a really good chance to do it. Throughout the webinar, we will talk about some of the features you can use in Any.do to design your morning routine. Some of them are premium features. So if you're using the free version, this is a really good chance for you guys to upgrade and enjoy like the full features that Any.do has to offer. So without further ado, let's start. Let's tune our morning routines. So what we're going to cover in this webinar is actually why are morning routines so important, and we're going to talk about how to actually craft your own to live a better life. So why is having a morning routine so important to begin with? Your morning routine is what actually sets you up for your day. This is like the first thing you do in your day, and this actually sets up the tone for the rest of your day. Some of the benefits of having a morning routine, a good morning routine, is that number one, it helps you take control over your day, right? Instead of just being managed by your day, tackling things as they come, you get to be, instead of responsive, you get to be active. You get to take control of your day and decide what kind of day you're going to have. Number two, it helps you live a more intentional and purposeful life. When you have a good morning routine and you control your day, it means that you are the one deciding what will happen. You decide what are the things you want to progress on. You decide what you want to bring into your life and what you want to dispose of. So when you have a goal, when you have a passion, and each day you really own your day, you'll be able to live the best life that you can imagine for yourself. Everything you do will guide you towards your goal and will fill you with purpose and energy for your day. Next thing is that it reduces stress. Having a good morning, I'm sure you guys know it. When you wake up and you have like one of those days that you feel like it's going to be a good morning, you feel stress-free, you feel happier, better things happen to you, right? So having a good morning routine, reduces stress, will increase your productivity throughout your day, and will help you live a happier life daily. The idea behind a good morning routine is that you'll be creating a habit, like a ritual that will prime you to have a more focused, high energy, and successful day. This is like your secret weapon to creating a successful day every day, right? Some of us have like good days and you have some bad days. Sticking to a good morning routine will actually help you almost, you never 100% control it, but it will help you do what you can to make sure that you'll have a good day, right? In Stoicism, they talk about, that it's important to have to have control over what you have control, and what you don't have control, you have to kind of let go. So this will actually help you gain control of more things and will give you more power over your day. So Dolly Sink from 21dayhero.com researched what are the best morning routines, and she actually researched 60 world famous actors, writers, CEOs of leading companies, top entrepreneurs, like Ryan Holiday and Seth Godin and Oprah and Arianna Huffington and Tim Ferriss and others. So really, really good people. And she found out that they have some things in common. 65% of them exercise in the morning. 38% of them do some work when they wake up. Now, doing some work means, kind of going through some emails, maybe checking off some some quick tasks. A lot of them actually use and leverage, the Eat the Frog method. Eat the Frog method. We have a full blog post on this on the Any.do blog. Eat the Frog method is basically a method that's saying you should tackle the thing you kind of least want to do in your day. You have to tackle that first. The idea behind this is that once you do the one thing you least want to do in that day, you'll number one, get it out of your way, and you'll be able to enjoy the rest of your day. And number two, once you kind of tackle a big challenge right from the get-go, right from the morning, right, you feel better, you feel adequate, you feel like you can do anything. 22% say they're reading. Mindfulness is another big chunk. Gratitude is important. We're going to talk about it later on. 20% of them also say like they spend family time, and only 7% use social media in the morning. These are people like Gary Vee, people that are very social media oriented. But in general, steering away from social media and screens once you wake up, usually a good idea. Now, here's something that's very interesting. So she did the research, and she also kind of compared women versus men, like their morning routines and what they do. And what's interesting, well, number one is that more men spend time working when they wake up, more women exercise, and family time was different. But most of the other things were kind of the same, right? Proportion-wise, they're kind of similar. Men were also more leaning towards social media and more work in the morning. So to be honest, I think it's so individual and something that is very, very personal, and each one has their preferences. And I think that's more important than the statistics you're seeing here. But I thought that maybe, if somebody can, something resonate more with you based on that, then, more power to you and whatever you feel comfortable with. So a morning routine is a big part of what is called a keystone habit. But what is a keystone habit? Keystone habits are like small changes or habits that people introduce into their routines that unintentionally carry over into other aspects of their life. This is a quote by Charles Duhigg, who wrote the book, The Power of Habit. So he came up with the term keystone habits. The idea is that keystone habits create like a domino effect that change every area of your life. So let's look at some examples. So for example, let's say that the habit that you add to your life is doing some exercise. Now, when you start doing a little bit of exercise daily, either if you're running, you're going to the gym, doesn't matter, then your body feels better. And when your body feels better and you feel like you're putting in the effort to exercise and optimize your body, then you suddenly kind of start eating healthier. Why? Because you're already spending time on your body and you feel great. And eating junk food, right? So it kind of reduces the greatness feeling, it kind of makes you feel less good about yourself, maybe makes your body heavier, right? And after you actually invest time in exercising, right, then you don't want to add that to your life. So you start eating healthier a little bit. Eating healthier, so if you're, drinking beer, if you're like drinking alcohol or you're smoking cigarettes, then it kind of drives you into, drinking less and smoking less, which that, by the way, leads you to sleeping better at night. So exercise is a keystone habit because just by exercising better, it will impact the way you eat. It will impact, alcohol and cigarettes, and it will impact your sleep. And let's say that the habit you choose to add is sleeping better. You decide that instead of sleeping 4 hours a night, you're going to sleep 8 hours a night. What you get from it, that every day you'll be more focused. From that, you'll be more productive because once you slept better, you'll be able to be more productive. You have higher learning capabilities. I don't know if you know this, but lack of sleep really, really hurts your ability to focus, and it really hurts how you intake information. So if you don't sleep much, it's really harder to learn new things. It's harder for your brain to process new things. And if you have these two, more focused, more energized, higher level of performance, then you can make better decisions for your life. So just by sleeping better, you might be able, right, like to make better life decisions just by sleeping better. You'll be able to perform better at work. All these things will actually impact more areas of your life. Same goes for meditation. You'll have like a clearer mind. And once you have a clear mind, you're again more able to focus. Your productivity will be higher. You get more done. Getting more done means less stress, etc. So you get the idea. So Keystone Habits is just like by introducing one habit, one small thing, it primes other better habits, right? So when you think about something and you say, like, can that be my keystone habit or not? So you have to ask yourself three things. One, is it small enough for me to do easily every day, yet make an impact? So for example, if you are not doing any workouts, if you're not moving your body in the morning, or if you're not, in general, you're not doing any exercise, then you can decide that every day you do 5 push-ups, right? 5 push-ups, 2 push-ups at the beginning, right? So this is something, everybody can do. It takes 2 seconds, everybody can do it physically, and it's really easy to do it. But once you do 2, and it will be easier for you, the third day, the 2 will be even easier. You'll do even more, and you do 5, right? And just by doing the 5, you might want to start saying, okay, so I'm working on my arms, maybe I want to work on my abs a little bit. And we kind of grow into being, having a bigger impact on what you do. So it should be small enough for you to start, but make an impact enough for you to actually want to keep going and important to you. Next, you have to ask yourself, will it help me start building a new habit? So just doing 2 push-ups a day will help you start building a new habit of exercising, right? Or of being minded to your body. That's right, Carlo. Baby steps are everything. Javier, yes, this will also be uploaded to the YouTube channel. So will this help me start building a new habit? So just by doing these 2 push-ups, right, you might start working out more. And if you start working out, that's a great habit you want to introduce that can actually increase. Then you want to ask yourself, is engaging with this will create a more positive behavior over time? So obviously doing these push-ups, starting to work out more, will have a positive impact on your life, right? So like if you want to brush your teeth better and you want to start flossing, right? Just by flossing 1 tooth one night, you'll very fast go to your full mouth within like a week or 2, and that's a really great habit to have. So that will have a positive, that will have a more positive behavior for you over time. Now, just as an example of some popular keystone habits, so making your bed first thing in the morning, before leaving for work, that's a popular keystone habit. I think there's like a really famous YouTube video of like a Navy SEAL talking about making your bed in the morning. It's like a big thing. Sending a text to somebody you love, right? It's like it's so mundane. It's so it's even foolish to think about it. But just by expressing love, just doing this very small thing, letting yeah, thanks, Josh. Yeah, so he wrote a book about it, right? So if he can write a whole book about it, we can just make our bed in the morning, right? Takes less effort. So texting somebody you love, just saying somebody, hey, I love you, I miss you, I hope you have a great day. That will make you feel better, and saying that will make the other person feel better. And if it's like your spouse, your kid, I don't know, your parents, I can promise you that having the habit of saying that you love them once a day, that will already improve like a lot of your engagement over time. Flossing is another popular Keystone habit. Cleaning your desk at the end of the day, just by making sure that you don't leave it like messy, so you have a clean start the next day. That is also like a very simple Keystone habit. A 10-minute workout, 7 minutes meditation, 1 glass of water in the morning. These are very small things almost anybody can do. That once you do them, you'll start improving other areas as well. So even Flora, you don't have to do them all. The idea we're going to talk about throughout the webinar, but you have to choose the one that are right for you, and you have to understand what gets you going. We'll talk about it in a second. So having a good morning routine, even starting with something small, will be your Keystone habit. What I mean is that just by having a morning routine, just by having a morning routine and priming your day to be better, so many other things in your life will improve just by doing that. Higher energy, happier. Think about you going into your office or your workplace, and you're happier. Think about the impact it's going to have on your colleagues and people who see you in the morning. That has a huge effect on you, right? When you smile, people smile back at you. Your entire day feels better. So having a good morning routine will be your Keystone habit. Now, before we go into the actual morning routines you can use, I want to start by putting up a huge warning sign and help you avoid common mistakes people make, because everybody has good intentions, and sometimes we get excited and we actually sabotage our own success without even knowing it. And I think one of the harshest feelings there are is that you decide to make a change in your life and you fail at doing it. Even everybody, even it's practice and it's just like falling off the wagon and starting off over again. That feeling of trying or wanting to change your life and failing at it is a harsh feeling. So I think you should try and kind of bulletproof your first attempt as much as you can. Of course, you might make mistakes, you might fail at the beginning, but keep going. But I still want to give you some tips on the mistakes you should avoid. Number one, yes, planning your new life is exciting, but planning unrealistically is the number one cause for failing to implement changes. So, you get up the one day, you say, you come with your ideas, you're saying, I'm going to get in the morning, I'm going to drink a glass of water, I'm going to do 10 minutes workout, followed by 10 minutes meditation, followed by making my bed and texting somebody I love. And that's like a lot of things to add into your life at once. Even though they're all small and they feel very achievable, it becomes a long list to begin with, right? So, trying to plan things that you cannot really do, or, saying like, I'm going to start waking up at 4 a.m. if you're somebody who's waking up at 11 every morning, that will be very hard for you to do. And, you're priming yourself for failure maybe. And you should start with, smaller steps. If you're waking up at 11 every day, move on to wake up at 10 or 9, right? And move your way up towards 4 a.m. Make sure that what you're planning is realistic in terms of like what you're doing right now. And of course, don't, overcrowd it, which is actually the next thing. Don't overcrowd and complicate the routines you want to add, right? It's really easy to get excited about all these options. They're all great. They're all positive. But, trying to add too many at the same time, or, trying to add too many complicated things at the same time, it's like a setup for failure. So you want to avoid that. Start small, start very simple, and also, do it over time. So if you decided that your first Keystone habit would be drinking water in the morning, and you do it once, you do it twice, I know you feel like, oh, okay, I got this. 2 days drinking water takes 10 seconds. It's super simple. I'm going to add something else. Wait. Do it for another whole week, 2 weeks, until it actually becomes part of your daily routine, right? And only then start adding, because everything is simple, but once you add to it and you build over it, if you don't have a strong foundation, it will be very hard to keep going at it. And once that starts to crumble, it's hard to keep it together. Next, don't do things don't do things that don't give you value. So yes, there's a lot of popular ideas of what will be like. Thanks, Josh. When you go and you read online about how, what's his name, Jack Dorsey from Twitter lives his life, and Tim Ferriss, Steve Jobs at the time, whoever your hero is, right? So whenever you read their routines, you might think, oh, so if I'll meditate 20 minutes, I'll be able to build a business like Jeff Bezos, and I'm going to be able to build like an Amazon.com thing. Doesn't work that way. If there's a habit that successful people have or whatever, you read somewhere and it sounds amazing, but when you do it over time, you don't feel that it gives you any value. You don't feel happier. You don't feel more productive. You don't feel more energized, etc., etc. If it doesn't give you value, if it just feels unnatural, if it feels like you're doing it and you're just doing it to do it, change it. There's so many different habits, so many things you can do. So choose something that you actually feel that give you value. Because if you're doing something over time that doesn't give you value, it's like the first thing you'll drop. And instead of blaming it for not giving you value, you'll blame yourself for not sticking to it. And sticking to things that don't give you value, that's not like productivity, that's noise. So don't do these things that you don't see value in. Start with the things that you believe in, start with the things that you feel like are really helping you from day to day. Next is don't fail yourself. So what I mean by that, sometimes we do things that will harm our chances of success. So, if you decided that your habit will be waking up at 5 a.m. and don't go to sleep at 2 a.m., right? You're priming yourself to fail. You're setting yourself up for failure. Being angry at yourself that you didn't wake up at 5 a.m. when you went to bed at 2 a.m. doesn't make sense. So if you want to wake up every day at 5 a.m., go to sleep earlier, right? You have to go to bed earlier. If you want to be more productive at work, so it means you have to plan your day before. Don't overcrowd your day with tasks, right, and meetings, and then be disappointed with yourself for not being able to do everything you wanted to do. So make sure that you are doing the things that will help you succeed, and you're not doing anything that will actually make it harder for you to succeed. So if you decide you want to exercise every morning, don't go out binge drinking until late at night. Obviously you won't be able to wake up and run 5 miles after like a night of drinking. So don't fail yourself. Be aware of the things that you might do that will cause you to fail with achieving what you want to do. And don't start with the unnatural. So a lot of times when we have to plan new things, when we want to plan new habits, so we start with the one thing or the two things that we feel like is going to be a big thanks, Michael. We start with the big things that we want to change. Like if I've never worked out in my life and I want to get fit, then I'm going to go to that kind of goal. So start with what's natural to you. If there's something you're doing you want to do more of, right, then do that. So start with the things that are natural to you first. That's one of the most important things that I can say, because if not, what happens is that you're doing stuff that you cannot really work with, and it's harder for you to make them natural to you. So don't start with the unnatural. So after giving you all the warning signs that I could, it's time to build your morning routine, right? We went with the negative first, we went with the things that don't work. Let's switch it to the positive. Let's talk about how you build your morning routine. So there are so many items and there's so many different routines you can choose from. Lauren, that does sound like a crowded morning routine, but if it's working for you, If it's working for you, that's amazing. By the way, guys, if you want to share some tips and some ideas, Lauren, talking about where to cut, we're going to go over it in a second. If you guys want to share some of the routines that are working for you, some habits that you feel are really pushing you forward in the chat, do it. That'll be amazing. And you can inspire, our other community members who are here and listening to the webinar. You guys are doing it daily, and so sharing your advice and the things that you do 100%, will help each other. That's a good thing to do. So there's so many items to choose from. So many things you can do. Where do you even start? So many articles about, best habits, what celebrity does. How do you choose where to start from? So Tracy Kennedy from Lifehack suggests balancing the 4 elements. 4 elements is mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So physically means these are all the things, that we think about that we can do with our body or the physical space, right? So this is like the physically element. Then we have spiritually. Spiritually, this can be anything related to you and, feeling inspiration and feeling motivated. That's there. Then we have emotionally. So these are all the things that are about your feelings, your emotions, relationships. You can think of it as all the things related kind of to your heart. Your morning affirmations are amazing. I 100% agree. I love seeing all these tips. Great. Okay, so next element is mentally. So put simply, this has to do with your mind, including thoughts, beliefs, values, goals, hopes, dreams, desires, and plans. These are all the things that it has to do. These are all the things you have to do with setting your mental state. So that's mentally. Now, what we've done here is that we listed 19 habits and we categorized them. The idea is this. The idea is that when you plan your morning routines, you want to start, by balancing these elements. We're going to talk about this in a second. So let's go over some popular habits that people use. So physically, you have workout. This could be 2 push-ups. This could be, jogging. This could be whatever you feel you can do in the morning to build this habit. Remember, start small. Start small. Start with something it's easy for you to do. So for me, for example, I have a 6-year-old kid. And I know that when I wake up in the morning, I cannot really get out of the house. So I cannot if I wake up, she'll usually wake up right after me. So I cannot go out and run. If I want to do something, I have to do it in the house. So I know that I'm going to start with a very, very short, simple workout that I can do in 5 to 10 minutes before she wakes up, just to get my body going. Drink lemon water. It refreshes your body. Hydration, by the way, when we sleep, we lose so many liquids and we dehydrate when we sleep. So we have to drink water when you get up. Fill your body again, with that energy. You won't believe how good you feel just by drinking like a glass of water. It's like super simple. It's almost like, it's almost unbelievable how much of an impact it has. Such a small action. So just wake up and drink like a glass of water, 2 glasses of water. You'll feel better right away. One trick that I love doing is body audit. Body audit is that you basically wake up and you take a moment and you just kind of try and concentrate on different areas of your body. And you want to see if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling stuck, if something is hurting a little bit, if something feels unease. You want to be able to focus and really think about your body and then try and think why. So, sometimes if you have like lower back issues, if you feel something is like your chest is heavy, you can kind of try and breathe a little bit. You can think about it. So like that, can really help you ease out. You can see, just by recognizing that you're stressed, that can help you so much. Eating a healthy breakfast. I know some people do intermittent fasting, but like if you're eating in the morning, eat a healthy breakfast, not something that's too heavy. And that will also do wonders for you. It will help you concentrate more. And lastly is like clean your space. For me, we have this thing where we call resetting the house. So every morning before the morning starts, before actually, either night or morning, we do this thing what we call restarting the house. Restarting the house means basically making sure that the sink is clean, that everything is in its place, and like the house feels organized and nice to be in. Especially COVID times, working from home. That's very, very important to do. And most of the time when you do it daily, it doesn't take much, and it really, really improves how you feel inside your house. Okay. Emotionally, so spending time with family, if you can, just really be with them. I'm not just talking about prepping your kids to school, or just like kind of hanging out with your spouse. Really take time and kind of soak it in. Being with your family, show love to somebody you care about. You won't believe what a big impact it has just to tell somebody you love them. It really fills you up. So no screens. I've added this both in the emotionally, and I want to add it also in the mentally, I have to say, because social media has a huge impact on how you feel. Social media, news sites, it can really destroy your emotional day. So be aware and try to avoid screens at the beginning. I think it's really helpful, both emotionally and mentally. Reduces stress, makes you feel happier. Social media news usually aren't very good news or aren't feel good focused. So stay away from it in the morning. And eventually, do something that makes you feel good, right? There's a song you like, play that song. You love waking up and looking from out the window for 5 minutes, do that. If there's something that makes you feel good, do that. Sing a song, dance, do whatever you want. If there's something that makes you feel good, that primes you into feeling better, then do that. Linda, I 100% agree. I 100% agree that you have to have compassion to yourself. Like the idea is to build a habit, but the idea is to do it in a positive way. If you fall off the wagon, if you are not able to do it one day, then the idea is that every day is a new opportunity. And we all have to remember that every day and every minute is an opportunity to be who we want to be. And the fact that we messed up once, the fact that we missed one jog, doesn't mean that we are now a person who misses jogs. And even if you're a person who never worked out in the morning, it doesn't mean you cannot be that person tomorrow morning or like right now. It's just a matter of decision, and you always have that power. So spiritual habits, meditation is a great way to prime your day. You can use apps like Headspace or Calm. Sit down, breathe, and kind of focus back your day and your emotions. Gratitude is something that I love very much. Writing or like writing 3 to 5 things you have gratitude for. It can be from watching your kids smile to having like another sunny day. Just waking up and feeling okay. Karen, I think meditation body scan is amazing as well. I agree. If you're a spiritual person, if you're religious, praying is another great option. So mentally, the things that I think can really prime you and prepare you for your day. Journaling is something that I love very much. The idea of journaling is that you just basically take I prefer to have like a physical journal, which you just sit down and you write all your thoughts. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning in stressful times, you wake up and you feel anxious, you feel stressed. Just by writing down, putting down everything on paper, what you're stressed about, your anxieties, your fears, your insecurities, then it actually relieves you from feeling all these feelings. So changing your clothes scanner is a great idea. I 100% agree. There's nothing that makes you feel lazier again. Put in like kind of house pants. You kind of just want to go back to sleep. 100% I agree. So some people want to really get some work done when they wake up. If you want to answer 2 or 3 emails, just one task. You want to prepare for yourself for the morning, just so you can feel productive right away off the bat when you wake up. So that can also be a good habit. Writing your daily goals, I think that's one of a life changer habit. Because you basically sit down in the morning and say, okay, these are the 3 things that I need to happen today. if I do these three things, I'll be happy with what I did today. And it really helps you focus and prioritize your day. Next is you want to review or audit your day. So you want to take a look at all the things you have planned for the day, the things you want to get done, and you want to assess, like, can you actually do them? Are there things in your day that you can actually let go of? I started doing this with meetings a while ago, and I kind of look at my calendar for like the next day or so, and if there's meetings that I feel like they're now irrelevant or that I should have had them, I would actually cancel them. And I will actually just cancel them. And that will save you so much time. So many people take meetings or conversations that they didn't want to do because they made the commitment. And sometimes you cannot back off, but a lot of the times you can reschedule or back off the commitment and nobody would care. Next, you want to make sure that you prioritize. Right? Look at all the things you have for your day you want to add, and prioritize to make sure that you're going to get the right things done and not just like everything done. If you see that your day is too packed with things that will take too much of your time, too much of your energy, by the way, prioritize, because you will not be able to do them all. So at least make sure that you're going to do the right things. And last thing is kind of wake up your mind. So some people, if you spend 10 minutes reading the newspaper, if you, so I see, I listen to spiritual self audiobooks. That's a good example, by the way. Reading a good book, whatever wakes up your mind, doing whatever it is, whatever gets your mind and brain going, do it. So these kind of 19 habits. Can I have morning routine while fasting? Sure. So Amira, a good morning routine, again, doesn't have to be tied up with healthy breakfast. The idea is that you choose from this list, that you'll choose the things that are relevant to you, and you start with one thing. You start small, right? So what do you think about podcasts to wake up the mind? So I like it. I used to listen. I think I used, like, I'm a big Joe Rogan fan, and I'm also like a big Tim Ferriss fan. And so a lot of times I would kind of start my day by listening to a conversation they had, and just kind of get your brain going. I think that's great. Again, and it doesn't really matter what other people think. If it works for you, then that's what you should do, right? Like there are no real rules. It's like if something is working for you, that's what you should do. By the way, if you'll see now at the bottom of your screen, you can actually download. This cheat sheet of 19 habits. You're also going to get them in your email tomorrow. So you can get this cheat sheet, and so you can actually plan your habits. Now, the idea, I see that you guys are downloading it, which is amazing. You can save it, and then you can go through it. Again, like, this is a partial list. If you have something else you want to do, listen to an audiobook, call a friend, knock on your neighbor's door, walk your pet your pet, whatever it is, add it. It's like there are no rules. These are suggestions. These are guidelines. There are no absolute rules. Do whatever feels right for you. So let's talk a little bit about how do you implement. After going over the list, what I would recommend, of course, is you start with one thing and then you add more to it. We're going to talk about this in a second, but I kind of want to walk you through on how to implement your morning routine with Any.do. So on a strategic level, when embedding a new routine, the first thing that I would do is that I would map my existing morning routine. I want to actually map and see what I have there. What are the things that I want to keep? What are the things I want to keep away from? Again, even when you want to reduce things, when you want to take things out, don't take everything out at once. Don't try doing everything at once. Start by taking out one thing. Now, choose the habit you want to add. Remember, you start small. You start by doing one thing. So choose the habit you want to add, and then try and build on an existing habit. So for example, let's say that you have a habit that you take a shower every morning, right? Some people are like night showers, some people like morning showers. So let's say that you take a shower every morning, and now you decide that before your shower, you're gonna do 5 push-ups. You're gonna do a 2 minutes work, like a 10 minutes workout, whatever it is. And you wanna build on an existing habit, right? So you're not making time for something like totally new, but you're adding to something you're already doing. So it can be, 10 minutes workout before going into the shower. It can also be 10 minutes meditation after the shower. So build on an existing habit. And then, as I said before, start small. It's very, very easy to look at the long list of like 19 habits and kind of circling 5 habits you want to have, 5 things you want to be a person who does these things, right? And saying, I'm going to do them all tomorrow. Don't do it. It might work for you for 1 or 2 days, but it will make it harder for you to actually build the habit. Start small. Now, next is you want to make sure that you are forming a habit which is basically built up on 3 things. Okay, so 1, you want to understand what the trigger is. Number 2, you want to set the routine, and you want to set the reward. So the trigger is, what is it? What's the cue that's going to make you? What's the cue that makes you start the new routine? So if we said, it could be a specific hour. Every day at 8, I'm going to do a workout. It can be the shower thing that we just discussed before. And then there's the routine, right? So if it's working out, if it's journaling, if it's meditating, if it's taking a walk, whatever it is, then that's the routine. And then you have to make sure you have a strong reward. Reward is anything that makes you feel good doing the routine. So, ideally, it will be a huge emotional reward, saying, oh, I did this thing that I wanted to do. I exercise, good for me. That should be like that's like a good reward, like an emotional reward. Sometimes you can, by the way, if you have strong will, you can do like a weekly reward. We say, if I completed 6 out of 7 days, I'm going out with friends to get a beer. If I'm doing 6 out of the 7 days, I'm going to buy this thing I want to buy, whatever it is. And that reward should encourage you, to add the trigger and keep it going. Now, what are the things? Emotional reward? When I go out for a run, my body feels amazing after. I feel so great for doing that. I feel great for putting on my shoes and getting out. I feel good for doing the workout. So for me, that's an emotional reward. And every time I'm getting lazy about it, then I go through, okay, this is what you're going to feel after. Just get yourself out there. So that emotional reward for me is a great way to set the trigger back. Any.do has a huge part in my morning routine. It has all the tools and the features you need to actually build a routine, follow through, stick to it, build a habit, and really make a change into your life. One of the things that I'm mostly excited about Any.do and the work that we're doing is that this actually helps people design a better life. Using Any.do, this is how people achieve their goals. This is how people progress in the things that matter to them. This is how some people, remember to plan a birthday party to their spouse. This is how people build relationships. So I think these features are Any.do is built for that. So I want to cover a few of the features that I think will really help you planning and setting up your morning routine. Number 1 is just creating your morning checklist. Creating a checklist to follow daily will make it easier for you to take action. Also, there's something that is so rewarding, in checking done on the task you need to do for the day. So think about starting your day and doing the 2, 3, 5 things that's going to be in your morning routine, the new habit and the things that you're already doing, and you crossing over those tasks. So number 1, by having everything written in front of you, it will actually kind of reduce stress and reduce your mental load, because you don't have to remember what you do, just follow the list. So it kind of helps you get the day very easy going. Number two, crossing off these things off the list will make you feel amazing, and when you start your day. So just create a list with the things you want to do in your morning routine. Number two is setting up recurring tasks. So the things you want to do daily, it's your morning routine. You're going to do it every day. Maybe maybe, by the way, some of the things you're not doing every day, but you're doing 3 times a week. Sure. So add recurring tasks so you can see it every day. So you'll see it and you'll be able to commit to it daily. Number 3 is adding reminders. So reminders will help you not forget, but will also be used as an extra nudge. What does it mean? So when you have to do, to meditate for 10 minutes, but you've been kind of lazing off that morning, when you've been you've been distracted, you feel kind of tired, then that notification, that reminder that will kind of pop up will remind you to do it. So even if you've drifted and you were about to kind of miss in your morning routine, just by getting that nudge in the reminders will get you back on track. So that's very, very useful. Another feature that I like very much is the location-based reminders. So some habits need to be done in a specific place, right? Remember, to smile before leaving your house, or spend the first minute in your office socializing. So this is Ellen and Lauren. That's where recurring tasks, come into handle. And Shirley will answer all these questions later on for the product oriented. So location-based reminders. Sometimes things you want to go when you just get into the office. It can be, again, as I said, socializing, drinking your coffee, drinking more water. Remember to smile. Remember to ease off. There's so many things that can be added here, right? So sometimes you just want to be reminded before when you get somewhere or before you leave somewhere. Cool. And the next one, which makes a huge impact, is the daily planning. Daily planner, My Day. So you either get it as a push notification every morning, or you can go into your app and do and just set My Day on the daily planner. And this is a great way to audit and plan your goals and prioritize what you're going to do on that day. So auditing your day and prioritizing is a huge part of having a good productivity morning habit. The idea, you go into My Day, you go into Plan My Day, and you can just basically see what you have, what pending action items do you have, and you can carefully decide what do you want to do today, what do you want to not do today, which things are you passionate about, which are not, and decide what to do, what to postpone, what to delete altogether. So the daily planner is really, for me, at the core of my morning routine, because this is where I plan my day. This is where I take control over the things that's going to happen throughout the day and I'm going to do throughout the day. So for me, the daily planner has a huge impact. And then you have what's called focus mode. So if you're a premium user, by the way, recurring tasks and having an unlimited daily planners and focus mode are premium features in Any.do. So remember that we have the special limited offer. We're going to pop the link again soon. So if you're a free user and you want to start using the premium version to get access to all these features, you're going to have this is a really great time for you to do that. So some of the tasks, some of the things you want to do, you want to make sure that you don't only get reminded of doing, you want to make sure nothing bothers you while you're doing them. So journaling, meditation, practicing gratitude, or even just getting some work done, some emails, whatever it is you want to do in the morning, you do it with no interruptions. So focus mode is distraction free, and this is an amazing way to make sure that you are focused, that you have no distractions, and you get to kind of do deep work with yourself or work on the things that you care about. So these 5 features can actually really, really elevate your day and help you plan a successful morning routine. So for the next section, which is basically some questions, I'm happy to invite Shirley to unmute herself and join us in the conversation. If you guys have questions about how to do things in the product, questions about setting the morning habits, specific habits, this would be a great time to ask them in the chat, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. Okay, so you guys are filling the polls, so let's take a few minutes to later on get some questions as well, if you have any. I'm curious, guys, what is your biggest takeaway from the conversation we just had?
Hey, Ellen, I just want to talk about the recurring reminders for a second. The way recurring reminders are working in Any.do is basically once you just have to set it up once. You write a task such as drink some water or meditate, and basically you set a reminder and you can choose to have it every single day. And once you create that first occurrence, afterwards, when you complete it, the next one will appear automatically. So you basically don't have to do anything but set up the first occurrence. And with the advanced recurring options, you can also choose on which days to do that. You can choose the intervals, the end date, and other functionalities that are available for premium users.
Okay, so I see. Okay, so yeah, Matthew, I agree. Start small. I think that's one of the most useful, simple tips out there. Tim, how long is a morning routine? So, it really depends on how your day looks like and how much time you want to spend. There's no right or wrong. In whatever you feel the most useful and productive for you. Amira, question about coffee, tea, important in the morning. So same answer. Some people, are coffee addicts. Some people are tea addicts, I guess. Water is the basic thing. I would start, even if you want to drink coffee or tea in the morning, I'm a huge coffee fan, so I drink coffee. But, start with water. That's my biggest recommendation. So Lee, about creating the morning routine. So basically you go through the list of habits, or you add more habits to the list, and choose the ones that are right for you in the morning. You take one, you start small, you start doing that daily. What I recommend, by the way, is that you add more, as you add more tasks or more habits, I would try and balance the 4 elements. So if your first habit is mentally, I would add something that is physical. And if it's physical and mentally, then I would add something emotional. And I would start with the elements based on what you feel that will help you the most. For me, exercise is what worked best for me. It elevates, how I feel. It kind of changes a lot of things for me. It's kind of a meditation as well. So that was the first thing that I did, a 10-minute workout every morning. Laura, you can see stats about your daily tasks and how many tasks you complete. I think in an overall level, weekly level, and daily level. You can see that in your profile. Okay, stacks. I'm thinking I might split some morning and some at the end of the day routine. Team has. So Theodora, regarding stacking tasks, again, I'm talking here about morning routines, but I think evening routines are just as important. And again, there's no right or wrong. Do whatever works best for you. Getting out of bed in the first place. Chris, I think that's one of the hardest things to add. Try and schedule things that get you motivated every day. Try and maybe put your phone away or your alarm clock away, so you have to get up and do it. There's no magic to it. Let's see, I'm going over your questions to see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, and I see that you also said, Chris, the same thing about moving the alarm clock or across the room. By the way, there's also this thing called like biological clock priming. When you go to bed, really think about the time you want to wake up, set expectations in your head, and sometimes it will work. Carla, so regarding how long do I recommend keeping a small habit, I would use, well, it depends on how small it is. Sometimes if you're expanding on that habit, so for example, you know, from doing a 1-minute workout to a 10-minute workout, I would like do it, you know, in a week or in 2 weeks. The second you feel the habit you've just added is a no-brainer, you don't even have to think about it. You know, I think the rule is like 21 days or something like that. Once you feel, then that's when I'll add the next small habit. And remember that the change you're trying to make, it's like something that is long-term. So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to change my life, so I have to do it now. I have to do it today. It has to happen like next morning. I have to be a different person. It usually doesn't work that way. So, you know, be patient in building your habits. Okay. Thanks, Linda, for the comment. No worries, Kurt, about it. It was okay. Appreciate it. So Dylan, I think the question you have, send Shirley an email. Let's see. I'm trying not to miss any questions. I'm sorry if I'm not getting to everybody. Cool. Unit, is waking time genetic? I don't think so. Let's see, Lauren. That's a really good advice in the morning thing. That's a really good thing. I want to really amplify that. There's no right or wrong. There's what's worked for you. What works for you is the right thing to do. That's it. Everything else, you know, it's tips and advice and things you can try out. But eventually, what works for you is the most important thing. So thank you everybody for joining us. Again, I want to remind you that if you're still using the free version, you can upgrade right now for their yearly premium plan for $29.99 instead of $35.99. A lot of the features, like some of the features that we discussed here, are premium features, and I think you can benefit from them and try it out. Thank you everybody for joining. Good luck with your new habits, and of course, always send us your feedback. You're going to get a webinar replay tomorrow with the slides right to your email. So thank you everybody, and have a great day or evening, depends where you are. Good night, everyone.